Welcome to the Video Game Town Hall podcast. I'm your host, Jared Russo, and I am here today with a very special episode. I'm here with my fiance, Katy Herman, and this is her first podcast ever, and we're sharing a microphone, so we're going to find out how in the world this is going to go. Say hi to the people, Katy.
Woohoo! Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me here, Mr. Mayor of Video Game Town.
That's right, I'm the mayor.
Am I the first lady then?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The first lady. There's first ladies for mayors, right? Not just presidents?
I think. What else is it? The partner mayor.
The lady mayor.
But sometimes mayors are ladies, unlike with presidents, where you've yet to have a woman president.
That's true. So, what is it, the first gentleman?
The first gentleman, or, yeah.
Wasn't that going to be Doug?
Doug was going to be the first gentleman. The first gentleman.
My God.
R.I.P.
Today, we're going to talk about the 2025 Emmy nominations.
Woo-hoo.
We're going to talk about the nominations and who we think is going to win. Maybe not, we'll get into who we think should win, but honestly, most of the time, these things are sort of set in stone months, if not years prior. Emmy voters tend to constantly vote for the same stuff over and over, and usually a very few select shows just sort of dominate and sweep most of the categories, which is boring and annoying, despite whenever they sort of get it right. And then maybe later we'll talk about Pokémon. So let us dive in. Katy, there are too many TV shows, there are too many nominations, there are too many nominees per category, there's too much going on. When will this madness end?
I don't think ever. This year I'm actually kind of a little bit more interested in the Emmys than I'm always somewhat interested in award shows, even though they're becoming increasingly full of bullshit. But I guess they always were. But it's becoming even more transparent, just like how BS-y they are. But I'm interested this year because I actually have seen a decent number of these shows. And there are some years where I've maybe seen one. I used to watch more TV than I do now. But when I was single, I watched a lot of TV, but it wasn't always prestige TV. I like a lot of network stuff. I like reality. I like fun stuff. Procedurals. But I also do love the occasional good, like, crime miniseries or suspenseful thing that does get nominated. So yeah, let's do it. I have some thoughts about who I would like to win. But I also have some predictions that could be completely off. This is just based on my own instincts and very limited knowledge.
I have sort of stopped the who I want kind of thinking a very long time ago because I'm just too jaded and cynical to be like, boy, I hope this guy wins. It's never going to happen. If Steve Carell never won for playing Michael Scott on The Office, it's never going to happen for the things that we want in life.
But then there are things that are never going to get nominated that should have been nominated. I gave up on a long time ago.
The Wire, It's Always Sunny. There's a lot of shows that
Bates Motel. I'm a Bates Motel apologist.
Yes, Bates Motel.
Vera Farmiga was robbed.
All right, let's go from most important to least important. Let's literally go down knowing that people who listen to podcasts listen to the beginning and they don't necessarily stick to the end. So we'll do the stupid, silly ones at the end, like guest. But let's do the heavy hitters because some of these are sort of just like, we already know what's going to happen. We know Severance is going to win Best Outstanding Drama Series.
Do we know that? I have it highlighted in blue, which I got my notes going here. Blue is my color code for I want it to win, and I think it will. Yeah, I think it has to.
I don't think any show has this sort of momentum and critical mass of viewership plus reviews. Critics really love it, fans love it. It sort of became a cultural phenomenon 3 years after it should have when it first premiered that first season. Was it pre-COVID? Yeah, it was pre-COVID. Yeah,
I had not watched it until recently. Jared showed me the first season right before the second season premiered, and we've become quite obsessed. And I think, I did make a lot of these predictions based on how much each show was nominated, how many nominations they received in Severance is, very heavily represented here. I also love a lot of the shows in this category. I was really happy that Paradise on Hulu got some nominations because that was just so much fun. I really, really enjoyed that show, and I think it did well critically, but I wasn't sure that it was going to escalate to the level of Emmy nominations, which it did. And Sterling K. Brown always should. I was really happy to see that, but I don't think it's going to win.
See, the problem is we'll just knock through which of these have no chance. Andor, as incredible as Andor is, has no shot. The Diplomat, that's a nice nod. Okay, a tip of the hat. The Last of Us Season 2 is not nearly as good as Season 1. That's a whole can of worms. Don't even get me started, because me and Grant can go off about how bad that game/story is. Paradise is another tip of the hat. You got a lot of nominations. You're in here. Slow Horses, the people who love it and watch it know that it's awesome.
My parents, obsessed.
The only three that have a legitimate shot are The Pit, Severance, and The White Lotus. And I just don't see The White Lotus and The Pit. They're both HBO Max shows.
Has The White Lotus is won in the past, I believe. Or
it's won some things in the past, but usually it hits a brick wall of like Succession, or like usually there's like other like shows that are just like they just dominate. So, but this is the first year where there's like there isn't a Succession or a Mad Men or a Breaking Bad or something that just, or Game of Thrones, where it's just like, oh yeah, this will just win for the next 4 years. Like Severance, this is like the one shot it has.
I think season 3 will probably have a shot as well. Like if there's a fair whiff, if season 3 is the last season, or if it isn't, I don't know how long they can keep it going. But I mean, it will win at some point. But season 2 was just absolutely phenomenal. White Lotus, I also think they strategically released this year to have a better Emmy shot, because they usually release it like really late, like kind of the season isn't even over when the Emmys are on. So releasing it in the spring lined up so it wasn't like ending up at the furthest memory of the Emmy voters by the time the next year's ceremony rolled around.
I want to say it was originally in the miniseries category.
It was.
Yeah.
It's one of those that was supposed to be a miniseries, and then
it switched.
And then went on. And as we'll talk about, the categories that I think are the most interesting and have been for several years are the supporting actor and actress categories. And they combine miniseries and longer series, full-length series for those, and so stacked this year.
All right, so Severance. We'll get to more Severance later. This is maybe the most interesting of the three sort of main pillars, the three branches of comedy, drama, limited series / anthology. Comedy this year, there are a lot of great shows. Again, only like 2 or 3 have a real shot. But what happened the last few years is that The Bear was a buzzsaw. The Bear won everything. The Bear dominated. Even though that show started as a comedy, dramedy, and then it just slowly stopped being funny. And then it got to the point where voters were like, okay, this show isn't funny, so we're going to give it to Hacks. And that was a big upset. But now this year, you have The Studio, which is one of the most highly nominated shows just in terms of quantity, maybe not quality. And it's another Apple show. So is Apple going to go like 2 for 2?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, The Studio, for any category where I like hadn't seen a lot of things, but The Studio was nominated, I'm betting on The Studio because it got so many nominations, and it is kind of inside baseball. It's the industry, recognizing a show about themselves and enjoying it probably more than a lot of other people would. I haven't watched The Studio. It has been recommended to me. Maybe we should check it out. But that is probably my bet here. I mean, there's also, I think, a very real possibility with these categories that everyone will just say, screw you, we're going to keep The Bear winning. Because I made all of my predictions assuming that they are going to go with the immense backlash against The Bear being a comedy. It's not going to win. It's not going to win very many, if any, comedy awards. And so, which is, I mean, it's always nominated as a comedy.
But that's what happened with last year in Hacks. So, like, are they going to do it again?
They could just keep doing Hacks. I mean, I have not watched the latest seasons of Hacks. I watched like maybe the first 2. I enjoyed some of it, but I wasn't as madly in love with it as some other people were. My mom loved Nobody Wants This, and that did get a lot of hype and a lot of nominations here too. And obviously my personal pick would be Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, there's a lot of like fan favorites that like fill up the other nominees. So Abbott Elementary, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, which is a personal fave of ours, Shrinking, and What We Do in the Shadows, which again are like everyone who watches What We Do in the Shadows fucking loves it. And
you love it.
It's so good. I can't believe Matt Berry hasn't won. But like that's not how these go. They don't go by merit. They don't go by what should win. It's a lot of politicking. It's a lot of like behind the scenes, closed door handshake deals. It's who's the most famous, who's in front of the voters, who's spending the most money on campaigning. It's like ever since Harvey Weinstein fucked everything, it's just like all these things that shouldn't win, and it's so dumb.
I love Abbott Elementary. It hasn't really done super well since the first season or 2 at award shows. But it's always a gem. I don't think it's necessarily going to win Outstanding Comedy Series this year, but I do think the most recent season had some laugh out loud episodes, like the episode with Ringworm. I could watch over and over again. Shrinking, I also think got a lot of recognition and has also kind of been on my list of there's a lot of people on that show that I like, and is big fan fave. But I just think The Studio, based on how up its ass the Emmys seem to be this year.
My goodness. So let's get into again. This is Baby Reindeer Part 2. This is another very watched, very buzzed about anthology or limited series for Netflix that is just going to win every single possible thing it's nominated for. And the other nominees are not quite like contenders.
Adolescence is what you're talking about.
I'm talking
What
about
is
adolescence. It's a show about a 12 or 13-year-old. I could be wrong.
An adolescent
who commits some sort of a crime, and it's the parents and the police and the kids dealing with this thing that happened. And every episode is one take. It's one continuous shot.
This, yes.
And apparently it's devastating, and I think it's British. It's the Baby Reindeer Part 2, where it's like everyone who watches it fucking raves about it, and then you get to the next year and no one talks about it anymore, or it's like in 5 years are people still talking about it? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, is that even a metric for how we should be watching and viewing art, talking about art? It's like, oh yeah, I don't know. It doesn't stick with you.
But that's kind of what a limited series, I think that's what a limited series is and kind of should be, is that it's supposed to be really zeitgeisty, and like the most fun about a limited series is like the month that everyone is talking about it. And like, yeah, then some of it fades and some of it stays with you. I think Sharp Objects will stay with me for a really long time, even though we were really late to that party. But like Mare of Easttown, we still talk about it, but I don't know if it's gonna like haunt me, you know, and that was something that swept this category in the past. Queen's Gambit, that's gonna stay with me. I mean,
I still think about Show Me a Hero from HBO. But the other nominees, Black Mirror, which has won a few things like writing or whatever in the past.
I think they're going to nominate it every year there's a new season.
It's a better season this year. I mean, we'll get to the acting. Some of the not acting is like so wacky, where it's like you pick that person and not this person. Dying for Sex, which we saw a lot of ads on taxis in the city.
You saw
here.
the premiere happening near our apartment.
Yeah, I'm sure it's perfectly cromulent. The Menendez brothers thing from Netflix, and then The Penguin, which I didn't think was a limited series, which means that they're not going to make any more, even though it's like...
Sometimes they do. It's, you know...
It's in a connected universe with Batman. I think they nominated it here because they were not sure it was going to get in for drama, so they kind of, I guess, pegged it here, thinking maybe Colin Farrell might win, even though he's unbelievably good, and so is Kristen Milioti. This is going to be adolescence. There's no point in talking about this any further.
That was kind of like what I did with the studio for a lot of these categories. It was like adolescence, but then there are some categories that we will get to that are hilarious, where just it's like so many people from one show nominated, so that it's like, oh, I don't know which of these, you know, very famous actors who guested on this show that is nominated 87 times will win. But yeah, The Penguin was my fan pick because you loved it so much.
I really liked it.
And I love you so much, honey.
Thank you. That was really good. Outstanding television movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't really make picks for this because I don't really know. It's not, I mean, Love Me So. The only one of these I've seen is Bridget Jones, and that's not gonna win.
Rebel Ridge was good. The Mountainhead is from the guy who did Succession. But I've
heard Nana's is a delight. It's all Italian grandmothers.
I mean, Italian grandmothers we love. All right, let's move on. We're gonna do Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. Kathy Bates from Matlock, which my mom is a fan of, which kind of shows you, I guess, who voted this in.
But it's supposedly good. I mean, it's supposed to be good. Like a good, like a twist reboot.
It's a show on CBS. Sharon Horgan, Bad Sisters, Britt Lauer, Severance, Bella Ramsey, The Last of Us.
Because they refuse to just acknowledge that they could be in a gender-neutral category. Bella Ramsey continues to have to be a non-binary actor nominated in a actress category.
These award shows are set in the 20th century where there are two genders, even though we're in the 21st century, and that is no longer the case.
I don't think it was ever the case, actually.
And Kerry Russell
Trans people have always existed.
Yes. Kerry Russell for The Diplomat. This is Britt Lauer's award to lose. I can't see anyone else beating her, even though Bella Ramsey's, the show is now on back, ... except for next season where it's not, because it'll be all about Caitlin Devers as Abby. But so this would be her only chance, but this is Britt Lauer's. This is the Severance coming out party.
I can only hope she doesn't have the terrible baby bangs at the ceremony. We're betting, my prediction now mostly for this category is that I will hate her bangs at this ceremony.
Listen.
I love, no hate to Britt Lauer, just a hate to baby bangs as a style choice.
Some people have a thing about bangs. All right, so that was relatively easy.
We love Halle, Enemy, yeah. And then for actor, I'm saying Adam Scott. I love Adam Scott. Let's take a moment to go on a tangent about how deeply attracted to Adam Scott I am.
Let's not.
We watched Step Brothers last night, which I had never seen, and I really hated that even with the horrible sideburns and leather jacket and being the ultimate douche. Oh my gosh, I was just like, why is he hot? It's so upsetting. I've always been attracted to him. Season 2 of Severance, I was able to overcome his bad wig, even in his Mark-esque setting, and be attracted to him more. And don't even get me started on when he is full-on Mark Scout, when he is the Audi with a pen in the mouth.
Okay, let's...
Blood Drive.
So, Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. This is much more interesting.
Hottest actor in a drama
Thank
series.
you. This is much more interesting to me because there's actually possibly more people who could win.
That's true.
Sterling K. Brown for Paradise.
Absolutely.
Mazel tov to him. He will not win.
But okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna say that like This Is Us, which was a great show that I loved, didn't win very much except for Sterling K. Brown. Like I think if Paradise wins anything, it would be Sterling K. Brown winning for acting.
That's true.
It's
but
a long shot. I'm just saying it's not impossible.
It's not going to happen. Gary Oldman for Slow Horses. That's another Mazel Tov. Good for you. You're not going to win. Pedro Pascal being in for lead actor, despite what happens to his character in season 2 of The Last of Us. He's in the show. He's a supporting character. Many flashbacks.
Pedro Pascal has to be lead even if he's there for 2 episodes.
He would be a dark horse, but because he's in everything now, he's just super everywhere. Everyone loves him. This to me comes down between Adam Scott for Severance and Noah Wiley. Yes.
I don't know.
Noah Wiley.
I actually think Noah,
for the
however
pit.
you say his name, could be an upset. That is
For the
entirely
pit.
possible. And that would suck if Severance won everything and Adam Scott lost.
I think this might be a case where Adam Scott gets left out for other wins for Severance, and this goes to, like, this is the,
I could see that happening.
This is the Pit's award of, like, you were on ER, Noah. Like, ER's back. It's really good. Everyone loves it. Here you go. Sorry, Adam Scott. Like, we're giving Severance its flowers elsewhere. I think that's might be what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of now leaning in that direction, even though I don't like it.
You cannot hijack the podcast to talk about how hot Adam Scott is.
I already did. It's happened. Let's move on.
We'll see if
that was my innie, actually, who did that.
We'll see if that gets left in on the editing room floor.
Damn.
Keep it in and double it.
How deeply attracted to Adam Scott I am. Why is he hot? It's so upsetting. With a pen in the mouth, how deeply attracted to Adam Scott I am.
Outstanding lead actress in a comedy series, Uzo Aduba for The Residents, which got canceled. Kristen Bell.
I didn't like it, but she was great.
Kristen Bell for Nobody Wants This, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Ayo Edebiri for The Bear, and Jean Smart for Hacks. Now, I believe Ayo and Jean Smart are the sort of like the 2 women who back-to-back have won this. I would not be shocked if it just goes to Jean Smart again. If Hacks loses for Best Comedy, this is like again, hey, you're not going to win in many other categories. Here's your award, Jean Smart. We love you. You're still great. A relatively boring category, and that like, even if something upsetty happens, I don't think giving an award to Ayo or Quinta is necessarily like groundbreaking, because like those women have been.
Quinta's won for this as well.
Yeah, so like, you know, there's not a lot of room.
Or shout out to a former BuzzFeeder. Yeah, just like me.
Yes.
I put Jean Smart as my prediction when I was kind of thinking about this last night, but I almost feel like now when she wins for Hacks, she looks like exhausted, like again. Like I almost feel like she's sick of winning for this. She wants it to go to other and younger actresses. I think if The Bear wins anything as a comedy, Ayo here, or it's Io, I think actually. Io here.
I fucked that up.
No, I usually do, but I think it's Io.
I'm thinking of a basketball player for the Bulls named Ayo Dosunmu, and it's spelled the same way, but it's pronounced differently.
No, I believe it's Io, but I think she's actually a comedian. So like her winning in this category for being fabulous in The Bear isn't really falling into we're taking awards away from like actual comedy talent by just awarding The Bear, which is what everyone's mad about. Honestly, I wouldn't be like completely shocked if any of these women won this, because this could also be Where Nobody Wants This wins, which was a fan favorite. Even though I'm not a Kristen Bell fan.
I would be shocked. Is The Residents even that funny?
I didn't like The Residents really at all. I was bored, but Uzo was the best part. Like, she was kind of a fun caricature, detective, whimsical. You know, she was the best part of a show. You can have a great performance in a mid-show.
We've talked about this category for far too long.
Okay, you're right.
Outstanding lead actor in a comedy series, Adam Brody, Nobody Wants This, which I'm now realizing I know nothing about. Seth Rogen.
He's a hot rabbi.
Great.
And I do love me some Adam Brody. Can we go on another tangent about Adam Brody?
Seth Rogen for The Studio, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, no Steve Martin.
Yes, Nabaru.
And your inevitable winner, I'm saying it now,
Really?
Jeremy Allen White for The Bear.
No.
Seth Rogen's not winning this.
Seth Rogen is absolutely going to win this. He's the lead, and I think he's probably, I assume he's an executive producer too on The Studio. Like, they've nominated The Studio so much, it's absolutely Seth Rogen's. They're not going to fall back into the backlash against The Bear.
He's playing Bruce Springsteen. He's winning the award.
That's also not a comedy.
He's winning. He's really, really good being a sad person.
It's a comedy award, so that's the whole point.
He's won it every single year.
He's like, he and Gene Smart could start a club of like, please don't give me this Emmy again.
Hey man, he's a Mets fan. He's from Long Island. Good for him.
And he goes to a lot of Cubs games too.
I can't see them giving Seth Rogen the award, because for as good as Seth Rogen can be in things when he capital A acts, I have a hard time believing, like, that's the one it'll win, as opposed to, like, the guest cameos and the writing and possibly best comedy series. It doesn't seem like Seth Rogen is, like, the person who even he would want to, you know, stand up there and be like, hey, everyone, I know this is, like, a big team effort. There's all these funny people, Ike Barinholtz and yada, 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 and Martin Scorsese's in it, but, like, I accept because I'm, like, he's, you know what I mean? Like, I understand that he
all
might
those
be,
other people are nominated, though, too.
he might be the brains behind the operation, but, like, I just don't see him being the one to win.
All right, well, I can't wait for you to be wrong.
All right, we'll bet on it. Outstanding lead actress in a limited or anthology. This
could be, this is anyone's game, baby.
This is fascinating. So, Cate Blanchett for Disclaimer, which it's because she's Cate Blanchett.
I was about to say that if she wins, she could just win for being Cate Blanchett, and that's fair.
Megan Fahey for Sirens. Rashida Jones for Black Mirror, which, this is my bugaboo. Rashida Jones is very good in that episode. They didn't nominate Paul Giamatti for maybe the best Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. He's been talking about Paul Giamatti in the depressing Black Mirror episode.
Unbelievable. Kristen Milioti, super smoking hot, and also fucking excellent on The Penguin. Holy shit, is she so good on The Penguin. She deserves to win this. And Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex, which... you're never going to hear me hate on Michelle Williams.
Yeah, I mean, she also could win she could win. I picked Kristen Milioti as my prediction because you raved about her, especially when these nominations came out. And if, like, the Penguin wins anything, that's probably what it's going to win. Megan Fahey, I'm rooting for her because, to me, she absolutely deserved an Emmy for White Lotus Season 2, but of course she wasn't going to win it because it went to, rightfully, Jennifer Coolidge in the same category. It was, you know, one of those times where just too many great people were in one season of a show and had to be up against each other. So, like, this is Megan Fahey's makeup Emmy, maybe. And the fact that she's, like, I think she's the only one from Sirens nominated, so we love me some Megan Fahey.
I couldn't even tell you a single thing about Sirens.
It's on my list.
Let me just tell you that the character Kristen Milioti plays on The Penguin is what I anticipated my wife to be when I was younger.
Oh, so I can't go on a tangent about Adam Scott.
Like, I envisioned, like, hot goth chick with, like, a Brooklyn accent.
I'm hot, but I'm none of those other things.
That's fine.
I do love Hot Topic. I'm wearing some, like, pink Barbie shorts from Hot Topic right now, which is very goth of me.
Yes. I really want her to win. I don't know. I honestly, I'm going to say she'll win. That's what I'll say.
The next category I did not even make up. The actor I also just did not even make a prediction because I have no idea. I have not seen any of these shows. I mean, it's probably going to be Adolescence, right? When in doubt, Adolescence.
So this is Outstanding Lead Actor for a Limited or Anthology. Colin Farrell for The Penguin, who has won, I believe, a Golden Globe for this.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yes, which, great, because he's super, super good on The Penguin.
That was when that show was very new.
He's great. Stephen Graham for Adolescence, who I believe is the father figure, who, he's like a character actor. You've seen him in 1,000 things.
Okay, so he's probably going to win.
Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent, Brian Tyree Henry for Dope Thief, and Cooper Koch for the Menendez Brothers story. It's gonna go to Stephen Graham. That's fine with me. Colin Farrell's great. Jake Gyllenhaal's really good. I love Brian Tyree Henry and everything he's ever done. I've not seen Dope Thief, but this is gonna be the adolescent sweep. This is gonna be just how it goes.
Yeah. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent is necessarily deserving here, but I mean, that's maybe just because, you know, he's Jake Gyllenhaal and I could go on a whole Swiftie rant about him. I will, because we are on a podcast, I will repeat the funniest thing that I said while we were watching Presumed Innocent, which is when he just, like, has a complete meltdown and starts bawling. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how Jake Gyllenhaal acts when his girlfriend's turned 25. You know, maybe it wasn't a lot of acting there.
Well done. Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Jeez Louise! Jeez Louise.
Stacked. It's gonna be another situation of, like, all the White Lotus women deserving to win, and only one of them can, but also maybe Patricia Arquette will win, which would be great. Mark! That's what babies do, Mark!
Oh, Mark, you're a wonderful neighbor.
We just walk around doing Miss Cobell voices a lot, so, I mean, this is a category where I literally highlighted two as want to win.
Patricia Arquette, Academy Award winner for Severance. Carrie Coon for The White Lotus.
I think is maybe the favorite of, like, discourse. Just, like, going from online, I don't know if she's a favorite, like, in current Emmy pools, but I think from, like, online discourse at the time of the season, it was a lot about Carrie, and Carrie getting an Emmy.
Catherine Lanasa for The Pit. Julianne Nicholson for Paradise. God, a lot of hotties in this one. Not to reduce women to how they look.
Julianne Nicholson is also nominated in another category for a different show.
Because these are all talented women, but geez Louise. Parker Posey for The White Lotus, which we all have to do.
No! A tsunami! I can't do it. I'm not going to pretend to be able to do it.
Natasha Rothwell for the White Lotus, and Amy Lou Wood.
Amy Lou Wood.
No, isn't it good? Amy Lou
Oh yeah,
Wood.
I'm sorry. That's another one of my jokes that we're using this opportunity to share because I don't have a Twitter. So I will say that I did see an amazing tweet during the White Lotus's run that was and when Lady Gaga's Mayhem album was new, that was I could be your Walton for the weekend, I could be your Goggins for the night, and I was like, I just wish I could reply tweet that with "Isn't it good, Amy Lou Wood?" I love Amy Lou Wood. She actually was Emmy worthy in Sex Education. She is an absolute delight. She's a star of the show. I could say more about why she deserves this, but I don't want to spoil the White Lotus for Jared, which will be one of our upcoming binges. She would probably be my pick for White Lotus women to win. I still kind of think it will be Carrie. I also think Natasha Rothwell is very deserving. This is her second time showing up on the White Lotus, and this was much more. She got much more to do this season, and had much more agency and as a character and growth. And she was a badass and is a badass. So I'd love to see that too. I would be happy with pretty much any of these White Lotus women. It will probably be one of them, but it could also very much be Patricia Arquette. I don't know.
I'm looking up on Gold Derby right now to look at the actual favorites, which we should have been sprinkling these in. I apologize.
I think we're smarter than everyone at Gold Derby. That's not true.
I don't know.
At all.
These are professional. These are experts.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
They have the studio as being the front runner for Best Comedy.
Far and away.
They have Jean Smart being comedy actress far and away.
Really? Okay.
They have Seth Rogen as being comedy actor far and away.
That's because that's the right opinion.
That's insane.
Okay, we haven't gotten
to some of these, but wow, the way that they do it is very weird. Yeah, Severance is the favorite, but not like an over the pit, but not by it. It's by a good portion, but like it's, they have Kathy Bates winning for Best Drama Actress?
Wow.
That can't be a Lifetime Achievement Award. She already has an Oscar. I don't want to hear that.
I think that would actually be kind of cool for like a very rare network television win.
That's wild. Noah Wiley for Drama Actor. Carrie Coon's the favorite for this category.
Oh, Parker Posey second.
And then I think Adolescents in literally every single thing. Oh, Kristen Milioti! Yeah, good for you. Wow, they even have Colin Farrell on here winning. That's something, all right. All right, let's move on to Outstanding Supporting Actor. Why don't you read the nominees?
This is also incredibly stacked. I love the supporting categories. For years, I almost feel like, and Oscars, Emmys, Globes, everything have been more interesting than the lead actor categories. Zach Cherry, Severance. First of all, we know Jack. We don't know him.
We met him.
We met him he was sitting in our row at a Liberty game, and it was lovely. But it was before I had seen Severance, so I would have appreciated it even more. Although I did know him as the bookstore guy from the first season of You, and he didn't return in the fifth season.
This was before season 2 came out, so like he was not being swarmed because
I know he would have been absolutely swarmed.
He was just the guy from the first few episodes of Succession. He was the guy who asked Spider-Man to do a backflip. He was the dude filming Shang-Chi on the bus during the fight scene. Like he was like that kind of character actor. And then Severance, God, he's so fucking good. He's also on Fallout, but he got nominated.
He's in everything. So I mean, I did recognize him, but yeah, it would have been wild.
All right,
anyway, sorry, that was a big tangent. Zach Cherry, Severance. You can be my Walton for the weekend. I could be your Goggins for the night from The White Lotus. Jason Hang Dong Isaacs from The White Lotus. He said apparently was a prosthetic. James Marsden, Paradise. Sam Rockwell, The White Lotus, which I made a note, like, I'm really kind of surprised he wasn't a guest. Although he was in, maybe the definition is like one episode for guest. I don't know. Tremel Tillman, Severance, and John Turturro, Severance. I love Tremel Tillman more than life itself, and he needs to win, and I'm looking at this Gold Derby thing that says Walton is going to beat him, and I would have read the first few nomination names here. I would have said Walton Goggins, and then Tremel Tillman. He's good. I love Walton Goggins, but I will still be upset for Tremel, because this is just like, he just kicked so much ass and stole every scene, this season. Devour feculence, so many things we say. Oh, choreography and merriment, which we're going to have the DJ say at our wedding.
Yeah. This is a stacked category of character actors who everyone loves. Like, you have longtime people who've been doing it, like John Turturro and James Marsden, and you have relatively newcomers like Tremel Tillman and Zach Cherry. I think Walton Goggins is going to win because it seems like he's been everywhere, and it sort of is like, this is him being recognized in the way that he wasn't for Fallout, and he wasn't for the Tarantino movies, or for not Burn Notice. What was the one with Timothy Olyphant? Justified. I think he was on that. So like, he's been a long time working actor, and this
Community.
Oh yeah, Community, of course.
Yeah, he also, I mean, again, trying not to spoil anything for Jared, he is so pivotal in the finale of this season, and he's like kind of one of the core characters of like the main plot line. I do think it is likely that he wins, but otherwise it would have just been Tremel's to lose. The fact that we're not even talking about John Turturro as having a chance is wild, but I agree with that. Like, that's how stacked this is. Also, James Marsden was fabulous in Paradise. Not going to win, but he's fabulous.
He seems like a rad dude.
He's a righteous dude.
He's a righteous dude.
Sam Rockwell's monologue, I mean, obviously, The White Lotus should go down in history. It has been memed to death, but that was also Walton Goggins' reaction to it being memed to death. Still, he feels guest actory to me, but I guess because he had a multiple episode arc, he's here. Jason Isaacs, he played Cary Grant in a miniseries that I was one of the few people who watched. He does all kinds of stuff. He was also great in the season. Love him, but I guess maybe he has some controversial things. I shouldn't say that I outright love him, but
all right, let's move on to Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy.
I did meet him at a convention once, and he was very nice. Jason Isaacs.
Yes, there's a photo.
I didn't make a prediction.
Liza Colon Zayas for The Bear. She won.
She has won.
I think for the wrong season, but that's fine. Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Katherine Hahn for The Studio, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary.
Who I think is Janelle James? No, he is not. Cheryl Lee Ralph is one who is also nominated in this category.
Everyone's favorite mom, Catherine O'Hara for The Studio, Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary, and Jessica Williams for Shrinking. This is going to go to Hannah Einbinder, and I don't really think there's much more to discuss as much as we love all of these women.
Yeah, that was kind of my gut reaction reading this, but then I didn't really make a prediction because I was like, I don't know, and now Gold Derby is seeming to agree with that take. I mean, I figured maybe it would just be one of the two Catherines spelled very differently for The Studio because, as again, my rule for this is when in doubt, go with The Studio. And I love Katherine Hahn and Catherine O'Hara so very much. Love Cheryl Lee Ralph. But yeah, I think it's Hannah's.
Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. Ike Barinholtz for The Studio. Coleman Domingo, The Four Seasons. I need Coleman Domingo and Tremel Tillman to host everything from now on. Can you imagine those two hosting things together?
I mean, even just one of them on their own, we were hoping, if Tremel Tillman and Severance hadn't blown up so much, it was like, how could we get him as our wedding officiant? And that's really the dream.
Harrison Ford, Shrinking, Jeff Hiller, Somebody Somewhere. I've never heard of that in my life. Eben Moss-Bacharach, The Thing is Clobbering Time, The Bear. He's Uncle Richie.
Yes,
Michael Urie for Shrinking. She doesn't watch The Bear. And Bowen Yang for Saturday Night Live.
I watched a couple episodes.
This is mind-warping.
This is a wild category.
So many of these people should have an Emmy.
Right, just for being themselves. Every single person, I don't know who Jeff Hiller is, but, assuming he's great, all of these people just for being themselves should have awards.
Eben Moss-Bacharach has basically dominated this category, and rightfully so for many years. It seems like the tide is shifting. Ike Barinholtz is the favorite, but barely over Harrison Ford for a Lifetime Achievement Award, because he's never won an Oscar.
And because, Shrinking is in its third season, and, getting kind of more hype and acclaim. So I could see that. I just was like, oh, The Studio. I just Ike Barinholtz, who's always been kind of the butt of the joke character actor, him accepting an award would kind of be a moment like Lamorne Morris winning an Emmy last year, which was so delightful. But although Lamorne Morris actually deserved that for New Girl, Ike Barinholtz, I wouldn't say deserves that for the Mindy Project. We love Lamorne Morris. Bowen Yang, we love. And I just wanted to shout out that Eben Moss-Bacharach went to very overcrowded New York City animal care and control or animal care centers and played with dogs, so we love him.
He's Uncle Richie. Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. God, what a mouthful. Erin Doherty, Adolescence, that's your winner.
There's another person from Adolescence, though.
Yeah, but we all know who's actually going to win this. Ruth Negga for Presumed Innocent, which, man, oh man, was she fun to watch when we did that.
She went through it. She was going through it. Poor lady.
Deirdre O'Connell for The Penguin, Chloe Savini for The Menendez Story, Jenny Slate for Dying for Sex.
Love me some Jenny Slate.
And Christine Tremarco for Adolescence. We already know who's winning. That enough said.
Yeah.
Boring. Outstanding Supporting Actress. This is the same kind of story where we're going to get to the person for Adolescence and it's going to be Owen Cooper. Javier Bardem for The Menendez Story, Bill Camp for Presumed Innocent, Owen Cooper's your winner for Adolescence, Rob Delaney for Dying for Sex, Peter Sarsgaard for Presumed Innocent. What a freak he was on that show.
Yeah.
And Ashley Walters for Adolescence.
Notice they did not nominate the guy whose mouth never moved on.
Oh, the district attorney who was marbles in his mouth.
Who has played Obama in the past? That actor can speak in different voices. I believe. So I feel a little bad making fun of him, but I think everyone was. There was an article about it.
What he did was all right.
Yeah, Peter Sarsgaard. Your brother-in-law is making a show. You get in the show. Not that he wasn't good, but yeah, I guess. But there's two Adolescence people here, so just an Adolescence person.
Can you imagine listening to this podcast and we're just doing crazy impressions halfway through?
I think we could cut maybe the marble mouth district attorney commentary.
We'll see what an editor thinks about that. All right, let's get to the guest actors and actresses. My God, there's so many nominees and categories. It's overwhelming.
And they're all, the guests, they're all such heavy hitters.
Outstanding guest actress in a drama, Jane Alexander for Severance, Gwendolyn Christie for Severance, Caitlin Dever for The Last of Us. She's barely in that show.
I mean, Jane Alexander was barely in Severance, and Gwendolyn Christie, she was kind of pivotal, but yeah.
One episode. Sherry Jones for The Handmaid's Tale, Catherine O'Hara for The Last of Us, who honestly is in like a good chunk of the show.
Okay.
And Merritt Weaver for Severance. I don't know who's going to win, but I can tell you who should win.
Merritt Weaver for Severance.
Catherine O'Hara for The Last of Us.
Oh my god. Okay, let's go to, tell me what Gold Derby says. I was gonna say, I put my prediction as Cherry Jones for The Handmaid's Tale because Cherry Jones, has such a legendary career, and also Handmaid's Tale was in its last season and, did not get a lot of, really, now that I'm thinking about it, that really was overlooked in pretty much every other category for its last season, so I wouldn't be surprised if it did get this. Give Merritt Weaver every Emmy for everything. She was not even nominated for Unbelievable, when she actually, I think, was far better than Toni Collette, who was that year. We were talking about that. I love her. Give her an award every time there's an opportunity.
For some reason, Gold Derby doesn't even have the guests.
I don't even care.
Outstanding guest actor, Giancarlo Esposito, The Boys. He should have won something by now. Scott Glenn, The White Lotus. Sean Hatosi for The Pit. Joe Pantoliano for The Last of Us. He's in one scene. Forrest Whitaker for Andor, which again is such a bizarre nomination considering all the other people from Andor who
but
were
he's Forrest Whitaker,
so much better.
Him.
There's a lot of people on Andor who deserved it. And Jeffrey Wright for The Last of Us.
Maybe Jeffrey Wright.
You could, a lot of people are barely in these shows. You could give it to Esposito. You could give it to Wright. Could give it to Joey Pan.
I had to look up who Scott Glenn is, and he is the old man.
He's a character. He's in 1,000.
Okay. Well, he's an old man who gets murdered in The White Lotus, and I think you'll forget that by the time we watch it. So,
outstanding guest actress in a comedy series. A lot of Academy Award winners in this. Olivia Colman, The Bear. Jamie Lee Curtis, The Bear. I think she's won before. Cynthia Erivo for playing quintuplets.
Yeah.
For the Poker Face, which is the rare Poker Face nomination. Robbie Hoffman for Hacks. Zoe Kravitz for The Studio, and Julianne Nicholson for Hacks.
Another Julianne Nicholson. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara and Julianne Nicholson nominated for comedies and dramas.
I would like to see Cynthia Erivo win.
Me too.
She was really good in that episode.
Wait, and this is she's so close to an EGOT now.
Good for her.
She's got to do that. She would need she needs an Oscar, but I think that's inevitable.
Pound for pound, she might be the most talented person on earth.
Yeah, and I also love Robbie Hoffman. And so even though I didn't see her in this season of Hacks, married to Gabby Whitney from the Bachelor franchise. But I don't know. Maybe Olivia Colman though, because she's Olivia Colman.
If Jamie Foxx and Cynthia Erivo had a baby, that baby would be the most talented baby to act, to improv, to be funny, to dance, to sing, anything.
I think it's unlikely that they're going to have a baby for many reasons.
That's true. Outstanding guest actor.
I highlighted everyone that was in the studio.
And a comedy series. What a deranged series of nominations. John Barenfeld, my guy for The Bear. He's so fucking good in everything he's in.
And he's a pit bull advocate. We love him.
Yes. Bryan Cranston, The Studio. He's already won an Emmy. Dave Franco, The Studio. Ron Howard, which is such a joke nomination. Anthony Mackie and Marty Scorsese. I hope he wins.
Honestly, that would be amazing. And so this category is hilarious because it's 1 The Bear and 5 The Studio.
That's so dumb.
And they're all of the studio people are very famous people. So let's say Scorsese.
Why not?
And then I think we're just kind of into directing and writing.
Yeah, it's a lot of writing, directing.
Awards, so
most can go any which way because those are more lenient for people to sort of be like, okay, let's reward this show and not that show, and yada yada yada. So there you go. Emmys
those are our takes, and you know what? Thank you for listening to our just very specific opinions that are informed, but not maybe the level of Gold Derby informed. Going off the public opinion of the internet and ourselves.
We have about a month before the Emmys actually
yes, it's
air, which is
September 14th.
A lot of the discussion was when these things just got announced, and now that there's been time to sort of simmer and for people to sort of catch up on these shows, it'll start ramping right back up. Even though football starts and then people are like, what? What's on? Football's on. But
I think that I'm excited about the Emmys this year because I did watch a good chunk of the shows, and because just having all of those people in one room will just be really fun. An amazing lineup of nominees. We won't be together for the Emmys. We'll have to watch it on Teleparty.
Nate Bargatze's hosting.
Oh, really?
George Washington himself, yeah. His name's just fun to say. It is.
Nate Bargatze!
Looking at photos of him when he was much younger to where he is now, it's like two different people.
I have not done such a thing.
His face is a different shape, his hair color, everything about him is he transformed. He got a lot hotter. Not to diminish people by how they look, not to just boil them down.
I'm not, Nate Bargatze doesn't do it for me, so I'm not going to go on a rant.
All right.
Let's talk about Pokemon a little bit.
Describe your personal relationship with Pokemon, and then we'll segue into what we've been doing lately.
So my personal relationship with Pokemon is I consider myself a lifelong Pokemon fan, but I feel like for you video game purists out there, you would not pass your gatekeeping, because I really have not played the video games until recently. But I grew up playing, I collected the figures, and when I was like 5 and 6, cards I collected. I didn't play the trading card game that much, but it was really about the figurines with me and my friends in like 1st and 2nd grade, trading them, battling them, and watching the show, and then just being a fan of the franchise, just having assorted plush merch and figures around my apartment into my adult life, regularly purchasing things, including the giant Snorlax Squishmallow I bought last year that is on our couch. We love him. We just got some pool floaties. We got a pool floaty shaped like a Snorlax and one shaped like a Psyduck. So, just like a fan of Pokemon as an IP and a franchise. Last year Jared showed me Let's Go Pikachu, and now we're playing Scarlet. And I feel like I've been very picky about the games. Like, I have things that I really like and things that I really don't, because I'm not that much of a gamer. I'm just kind of picky about, what I enjoy, and that is incredibly personal and not due to like anything with the game. It's kind of like the balance of fun versus challenge, leaning more into the fun and just like letting me bop around instead of like making me have to like hit the same button 8 times. Which there is still a fair amount of in Pokemon Scarlet.
So in trying to introduce her to her first games, I figured the ones that would be easiest are the ones that let you catch the Pokemon without having to go through tall grass and random battles, and the ones that would be the least amount of effort in just throwing the ball and it going into the ball and not having to go through a lot of the RPG battling, which there are other things going on that should be more interesting to a non-hardcore turn-based fan. Mini games, feeding them, washing them, getting, different outfits, but a lot of those are like in the spin-off games, which are not great. So
I started Pokemon Snap. I'm like kind of stuck on it in a thing where I'm sure there's a way to get around and move to the next thing, but I need to look up how to do that. Otherwise, I would have to chip away at it for like 100 times the same zone.
But what I found myself being so addicted to is that because the game runs really well on Switch 2, going through it with the DLCs especially, and like the different maps and the different Pokedexes, the amount of Pokemon that spawn, and the draw distances and the frame rate, and it's just like it feels like I'm playing the game again for the first time.
And you haven't played the DLC, which we're now on one of the first of 2 DLCs.
Yeah, I'm grinding, I'm catching, I'm having a blast. We're sort of tag teaming it. It's incredible. And
you're doing some of the grunt work to level up a lot of these guys.
Which I enjoy, and because you can just sort of put a podcast on and just sort of zone out. I'm fascinated to know what's going to happen when I start playing Legends ZA, and if that'll make you interested in playing Legends Arceus, which is a much different take on the same sort of open world design of Scarlet. Yeah. Because going backwards to all the other games, there's so much less quality of life features and so much less freedom, and they're much more restrictive in terms of like their design, because this franchise has been very slow to evolve and catch up to modern day standards. So like I would be fascinated to know what you would think of like the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remakes, or Pokemon Sword Shield, or whatever we can get our hands on of older games for you to play on the Switch.
I really hope that I like it, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I am like from what I've heard, I have heard that like Arceus is very different, and I would love if I loved it, because I'll be very sad when we're done with this. Although it's going to take us a while, because we've got there's some things we're not able to beat yet. We need to really level up. I haven't done the Pokemon League yet. We have another DLC. I hope I like it, but I don't know. Actually, it's funny, when we finished Let's Go Pikachu, you showed me trailers for a bunch of different Pokemon games, and all of them kind of had like nitpicks. I was like, I don't know if I would enjoy this part of the gameplay, and we didn't necessarily, maybe Scarlet was on that list, but you were less focused on it because you didn't like how it ran on the original Switch nearly as much as you like it on the Switch 2. And like, I think if you knew that it played like this, you would have immediately suggested that.
The Switch 2, the upgrades like on how it runs older Switch 1 games is night and day, and it really boggles my mind that this company, Game Freak, has $8 trillion and they just refuse to like make a modern day, like, how are they not pumping out more games faster? How are they not like increasing the quality? How are they not like hiring more depth? Like, it's so staggering. And then you realize it's like they can do the bare minimum and they will still sell 40 million copies. They don't have to lift a finger, and Nintendo should really start whipping them into shape. I'm like, guys, like, you can't have these games run so poorly and look so bad. Like, that to me is just egregious. But you're also dealing with a large fan base who is younger and maybe not as like on top of these nitpicks and gripes. I'm sure people playing Pokemon Scarlet on Switch 1, they didn't notice the frame rate. They didn't notice, collision and the textures and all the sort of things that like people who are playing the most cutting edge, bleeding edge stuff would like notice immediately. Go like, what the fuck is this? This is from like 2 generations ago. It's so weird.
I will say that the story in Pokemon Scarlet is like trash compared to Let's Go.
They're all trash, Katie.
But like this is like next level. Like some of the DLC especially like has the most annoying characters that I have ever encountered. Very tedious to get through some of like the cutscenes and the conversations. But I mean, it is absolutely made for kids. And like, yeah, it's just like, hey, let me go catch Pokemon. Let me just do some battles.
The amount of games in the Pokemon franchise that have had good stories, goose egg, none, zero, zip, zilch.
Yeah, but like Let's Go was a little bit less cringy than this.
They're all bad and cringy. All right, well, that was her first podcast.
I feel I've baptism by fire. I've lost my podcast virginity here, I guess.
You're a natural. You're fine.
Hey, thanks.
I've seen some people completely choke. Thank you for listening. You can follow us, videogame.town, Blue Sky, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. You can just follow us at videogame.town.
Wherever socials are mediated.
That's right. And do you have anything else you would like to plug? Any potential foundations?
Oh, yes. My plug here. You may have heard me talk about dogs and rescue as I talked about some of those actors who are nominated for Emmys. I run the Hansel Foundation, which is a nonprofit that focuses on offering grants to rescues and community support organizations to reduce the number of pit bull type dogs euthanized in shelters. If you are a dog lover, a pit bull lover, an animal welfare advocate, please give us a follow on Instagram or check out our website. Yeah, we're on Facebook too.
Thank you for listening. We will be back next week with some sort of nonsense.
Without me.
Yes. Not that we don't want you back, but it'll be some weird nonsense.
You're
with
going to
Grant.
marry me. I think I'll be around.
Yes. I'll be talking with a friend IRL. We will be discussing even more Pokemon for some reason.
You and James are going to do one together.
Everyone loves Pokemon. It's maybe the most popular thing that everyone across the planet agrees on.
It's the most popular IP. Is the most popular.
It makes the most money.
Yes, the highest grossing IP in the world.
In media,
but I guess
and
also
entertainment.
does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.